The throne room was silent. Dust floated in the air, broken stones lay scattered across the black floor, and the tall banners of the once great empire hung in shreds. The human commander opened his eyes slowly, his body weak but his mind sharp. He remembered fire, war, betrayal. He remembered running, fighting, bleeding. But now, he was here, sitting on the cold steps of the throne that once belonged to humanity. This was not a normal throne. It was carved from metal older than the stars, forged by human hands when their empire ruled the galaxy. Now it was empty, abandoned, forgotten, just like humanity itself. The commander stood, his boots echoing in the empty hall. He looked around at the shadows, his heart heavy. He had fought for years, hiding from alien hunters who believed the human race was dead, and maybe they were right, maybe he was the last one, but the whispers said something else. Across the stars, in dark markets and secret meetings, there were rumors. They said the human king would return. They said one man carried the fire of humanity. They said the throne still waited for him. The commander clenched his fist. He wanted to believe, but hope was dangerous. Hope was a knife, it cut deep. Then he heard it. A voice, smooth, mocking. It cut through the silence of the hall like a blade. Return my throne, and the secret between my legs is yours. The commander froze. His eyes darted across the ruins, and then he saw her. She stepped out of the shadows with the grace of a predator, an alien woman, tall, with silver eyes that glowed in the dim light. Her skin shimmered like metal, her smile sharp. Her presence was dangerous, powerful. She smirked as she walked closer, her step soft, yet every sound echoed like a challenge. You came back, she whispered, the last human, standing in the ruins of his kingdom. The commander narrowed his eyes. His hand moved to the weapon on his belt, but he did not draw. Who are you? He asked, his voice hard. Someone who remembers, she replied. Her eyes sparkled as if she enjoyed his suspicion. Someone who has waited. She circled him slowly, like a hunter watching prey, but also like a queen studying a knight. Her voice was low, but her words carried weight. They said your people were gone, she continued. That humanity was nothing but ash. But I knew better. I knew one would return. One would claim what was his. The commander stood tall. His heart pounded, but his face remained calm. You talk too much, he said quietly. She laughed, the sound soft but sharp like glass breaking. And you still burn with pride. Just like your kind, stubborn, angry, but strong. She leaned closer, her silver eyes locking with his. I like that. For a moment, silence stretched between them. Dust swirled in the cold air. The ruined throne stood behind him like a silent witness. What do you want? The commander asked, finally. Her smile widened, dangerous and beautiful. My throne, she said simply. It was taken from me, stolen by those who feared my blood, but you, human, you can help me take it back. And why would I do that? He asked. Because, she whispered, leaning close enough that her breath brushed his ear. The secret between my legs is the key, and it belongs to you, if you dare claim it. The commander stiffened. Her words carried more than temptation. They carried a truth, a promise of power. He stepped back, his eyes sharp. He did not trust her, but he could not ignore her either. Something in her tone, in her smirk, in the way she looked at him told him this was no ordinary game. The galaxy was broken. The human empire was gone. But here, in the ruins of the throne room, stood a woman who spoke of secrets and power. The commander's pulse quickened. He had survived too much to believe in chance. This meeting was not random, it was destiny. The woman smirked again, tilting her head. Her silver eyes glowed brighter. So human, she said softly. Will you return the throne, or will you die here in the dust? The hall fell silent once more. The choice hung heavy in the air. The commander's hand tightened on his weapon. His mind raced with fire and fear, trust her or kill her. Both paths led into darkness, and in that silence the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The commander did not answer right away. His eyes stayed fixed on the strange woman. Her silver gaze burned with secrets, but her smirk held danger. He could feel the weight of her words pressing into him like a blade. Behind him, the broken throne seemed to whisper of the past. He remembered what once was the human empire, bright and strong, reaching across the stars. They were not only rulers, they were builders, dreamers, fighters. For 1,000 years, humanity stood tall among alien races, but every empire has enemies and humans had too many. Some feared their strength, some hated their pride, others wanted their technology. Yet the fall of humanity did not come from alien war alone. No, it came from betrayal, a knife in the dark, a voice that whispered lies. The commander had lived through it. He had seen the sky burn. He had watched fleets shatter. He had heard the screams of worlds dying. He had fought in the last battles, desperate and bloody. He remembered standing side by side with alien allies, those who had promised loyalty, promised protection. But when the moment came, they turned their ships against humanity. Their weapons fired not on the enemy, but on human fleets. The commander's jaw tightened as the memory surged. The betrayal was sharp even now. Years had passed, but the scar cut deep. He remembered the faces of comrades who died believing they still had allies. They were wrong. Humanity had been alone. In its final hour, the woman watched his face, her smirk softened for the first time, almost like she knew the pain he carried. "You remember it," she said quietly. "The fire, the betrayal, the end of your kind." He turned sharply toward her. "How do you know?" he asked, his voice cold. Her silver eyes glowed brighter. "Because I was there," she whispered. His chest tightened. She was too calm, too certain. If she was telling the truth, then she had seen the death of his people. She had walked through their graves. "Then you are my enemy," he said, his voice hard like stone. His hand gripped his weapon, but she only laughed, soft and cruel. "Not your enemy, human, not then, not now." She circled him again, her steps slow. "I watched the empire fall. I saw how the others betrayed you. I saw them strike down your fleets, and I saw the fire that refused to die." The commander's breath came sharp. "You saw," he repeated bitterly, "but you did nothing." Her smirk returned, sharp as a blade. "Sometimes watching is wiser than fighting. Sometimes survival is greater than sacrifice." She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "And sometimes secrets are worth more than armies." He hated her words, but he could not deny their weight. Humanity had sacrificed everything, and lost maybe survival was a different kind of strength. "Why tell me this now?" he asked, his voice low. She smiled, a dangerous light in her eyes. "Because the fall of your empire was not the end," she said. "It was the beginning of something greater, something hidden, something buried in the ashes of your people." The commander's heart pounded. He felt both anger and curiosity tearing at him. What could be hidden in the ashes? What could possibly remain after such destruction? She leaned closer, her silver gaze locking onto his. "The secret your people carried, the one the galaxy still fears, the one they tried to bury with fire and betrayal. It did not die." The hall grew colder. The dust swirled like ghosts. The commander stared at her, his voice sharp. "What secret?" Her smirk returned, but this time it was slower, deeper, like a hunter knowing her prey would soon step into the trap. "I will show you," she whispered. "But first, you must help me. Return what is mine. Return my throne. And in return, you will see what your people left behind. You will see the power they feared. You will see why they betrayed you." The commander's mind raced. The words twisted like fire in his chest. His people had died. His empire had burned. But now, here was this alien woman speaking of hidden truths, of secrets left behind. Could it be real? Could humanity's end have been only the surface of something deeper? He closed his eyes for a moment. The faces of his fallen comrades flashed before him. The voices of the dead whispered in his mind. He opened his eyes, his voice steady. "If you lie to me, I will kill you." Her silver eyes flashed and her smirk widened. "Then you better live long enough to find out," she said. The throne behind them loomed in silence, broken, but waiting. The past was heavy, but the future now glimmered with a dangerous light, and for the first time in years the commander felt something he thought was long dead: hope. The woman's silver eyes never left him. Her smirk was steady, like she already knew his choice before he made it. The commander felt the weight of her words pressing on his chest. She spoke of thrones, of secrets, of power buried in the ashes, of his people. He had no reason to trust her, yet he also had no reason to walk away. Alone, he was a ghost, a relic of a fallen race. With her, maybe there was a chance to find the truth. Maybe there was a chance to burn the galaxy once more. With human fire, her voice broke the silence, smooth and dangerous. "So will you walk beside me, human, or will you stay chained to your dead empire?" The commander's hand rested on his weapon. His thoughts raced like lightning. If he followed her, he stepped into danger. If he refused, he would stay lost, forgotten, drifting through ruins until death claimed him. Finally, he spoke, his voice low and steady. "I will hear your plan." Her smirk widened. "Good," she said softly. "Then let us make a pact." She extended her hand, long fingers glowing faintly with silver light. It was not just a gesture of trust, it was something more. He could feel energy in the air, heavy and alive. He hesitated. Then he placed his hand in hers. The moment their hands touched, heat surged. Through his veins he felt a pulse like a heartbeat not his own. His vision blurred. For a second he saw images bright and violent. Stars burning, fleets colliding, a throne of fire rising in the dark. He pulled his hand away sharply, his breath heavy. "What did you do?" he demanded. Her smirk returned, calm and knowing. "The pact is made," she said. "Our fates are tied now, you cannot break it." The commander clenched his jaw. He hated the loss of control, but deep inside he felt something strange. A spark, a link between them. "What do you want from me?" he asked coldly. Her eyes glowed brighter. "I want you to fight," she whispered. "I want you to stand by me as I take back what is mine. My throne, stolen by traitors, guarded by cowards. Only with you can I claim it," he frowned. "Why me?" She stepped closer, her voice low. "Because no one else can touch it. No alien, no machine, no blood but human. The throne rejects them all. Only your kind can unlock its power." The commander's chest tightened. The throne of his people, forged by humanity, tied to their blood. And now this alien woman needed him to claim it. "What happens if I refuse?" he asked, her smirk sharpened. "Then the pact will burn you from the inside," she said. "You will die screaming, and your last breath will feed the throne you abandon." His hand twitched toward his weapon again, but he stopped himself. He was trapped. The choice was gone. The pact had already bound him. "You're a monster," he muttered. She laughed softly. "Maybe," she said. "But I am a monster who knows the truth, and soon, so will you." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Then tell me," he demanded. "Tell me the secret you promised." But she only shook her head, her silver hair catching the dim light. "Not yet," she whispered. "Secrets are not given. They are earned. Walk with me, fight with me, and when the throne is ours, the truth will be yours." The commander's fists clenched. He hated her games, hated her riddles. But inside, a fire stirred. If the throne held the key to his people's lost power, then he would see it with his own eyes. She turned and began walking through the broken hall. Her steps echoed against the stone. She did not look back. "Follow me, human," she said. "Your path is no longer yours alone." For a moment he stood still, staring at the ruined throne behind him, his people's legacy, broken, silent, waiting. Then he followed her, his boots striking hard against the floor. As they stepped into the cold night outside the ruins, the stars stretched wide and endless above. The galaxy was vast, full of enemies, full of betrayal. But now, for the first time since the fall, the commander did not feel alone. Their pact was dangerous, perhaps even cursed, but it was also a path, a chance, a spark. The woman's voice carried softly in the dark. Together we will shake the stars. The commander said nothing, but deep inside he knew the truth. This path could save him, or it could destroy him. Either way, there was no turning back. The stars stretched like silver fire across the black sky. The commander followed the alien woman through the ruins of the city. Her steps were calm, her movement smooth, but every sound echoed with hidden power. He could feel the pact between them, pulsing like a heartbeat he did not want. They reached the edge of the ruins. Beyond it lay a wide valley. The commander stopped, staring at the sight below. Hundreds of alien ships floated above the valley. Their hulls glowed with blue light. Their weapons aimed at the ground, and on the surface stood armies, thousands of soldiers in armor of silver and black. The commander's eyes narrowed. His hand tightened on his weapon. "What is this?" he asked coldly. The woman smirked, her silver eyes gleaming. "This is my strength," she whispered. "Fleets, armies, warriors who bow to me, even after they tried to take my throne. Many still remember my blood. They still obey." The commander's chest tightened. He had seen alien fleets before, but never like this. The discipline, the silence, the way they stood like statues waiting for her command. It was power, raw and dangerous, yet he noticed something strange. Not all of them looked at her with loyalty. Some eyes burned with fear, others with doubt, and among the whispers of the soldiers, one word repeated again and again: cursed. The commander turned to her sharply. "They fear you," he said. Her smirk faded into a hard smile. "Of course they do," she replied. "They know what I am. They know what my blood carries. They know that I am not just their ruler. I am their key to something greater." He frowned. "What do they mean when they call you cursed?" She paused for a moment, her silver gaze fixed on the fleets above. Then she whispered, "Because they know the throne is not only a seat of power, it is a door, and only my blood can open it." The commander felt his pulse quicken. A door to what? She looked back at him, her smirk returning slowly. "To your people's legacy," she said. "To the weapon they left behind." The words cut through him like a blade. His people, his empire destroyed and forgotten. Could it be true that something of theirs remained, hidden in the throne she sought? He wanted to demand more, but the soldiers below began to move. A group of armored guards approached. Their leader, a tall alien with dark armor, bowed low before her. "My queen," he said, his voice echoing through the valley. "The fleets are ready. The path to the throne is guarded, but we will burn it clean for you." She raised her hand, silencing him. Her silver eyes flicked to the commander. "No," she said firmly. "We do not burn the path, we walk it. He must walk it." The guard hesitated, his eyes shifting toward the human. There was no respect there, only doubt and disdain. "A human?" The guard spat. "Why would you?" The woman's eyes flashed like fire. The guard fell silent at once, dropping his gaze. "Because he is the key," she said coldly. "Without him, the throne is nothing but stone. With him, it becomes destiny." The commander's jaw tightened. He could feel every eye on him. Some looked with curiosity, others with hatred. He was not welcome among them. He was a ghost from a dead race, but he stood tall. His eyes scanned the armies, his voice steady. "If I am the key, then remember this. A key can open doors, but it can also cut flesh. Betray me, and I will bury you all." The soldiers muttered, their voices low and uneasy. The woman smirked, her gaze fixed on him with approval. "You see now," she whispered. "Even in ruins, even cursed, you command their fear. That is the fire of humanity. That is why I need you." The commander's chest burned with anger and pride. He had not chosen this pact, but now it pulled him forward like a storm. If his people had left behind a legacy, he would see it. If a weapon waited in the shadows, he would claim it. The woman raised her hand, and the fleets above shifted. Engines roared, lights blazed. The armies moved as one, preparing to march. The valley shook with power. The commander felt the ground tremble beneath his boots. The galaxy itself seemed to wait. The woman turned to him one last time, her silver smirk sharper than ever. "Now, human," she said, "I am the key. I am the one who can open the door. The path to the throne begins, and with every step the truth of your people will rise from the ashes. The commander's eyes burned with fire. His hand rested on his weapon, his voice low and certain. Then let the galaxy tremble, he said. The pact was sealed, the armies prepared, the throne awaited, and the storm of destiny moved closer. Armies moved like shadows across the valley. Ships above shifted into formation. Engines roared like thunder, and the sky glowed with alien fire. The commander walked beside the silver-eyed woman, his boots striking hard against the ground. His heart beat fast, not from fear, but from the pull of the unknown. The path to the throne was not a road of stone. It was a journey through forbidden ground. Old ruins rose like broken teeth, silent reminders of battles long ago. Every step carried weight. Every step felt like a whisper from the past. The woman spoke little as they moved, but her eyes never lost their fire. She walked as if she already owned the future. Her soldiers followed in silence, yet their whispers carried fear. They still called her cursed. They still feared her blood. The commander stayed watchful, his instincts sharpened by years of war. He felt the tension growing not just among the soldiers but inside himself. The pact bound him to her, yet his trust was thin as glass. At last, they reached a place where the land itself seemed wounded. A great chasm split the ground, glowing faintly with red light. Bridges of broken metal stretched across it, cracked but unbroken. Beyond it stood a temple, tall and ancient, carved with human symbols. The commander froze, his chest tightened, his eyes widened. This was built by my people, he whispered. The woman smirked. Yes, she said softly. Your empire left many wonders, but this one they tried to bury. They thought if they hid it deep enough, no one would ever find it. But I found it. I claimed it. And now with you, I will open it. The commander stepped forward. His hand brushed against the stone walls. The carvings glowed faintly under his touch. Human language, old but familiar. Words of power, words of warning. Only the true blood shall pass, only the fire of man shall awaken the weapon. His throat tightened as he read. His people had hidden something here, something they feared, something they protected with their last breath. He turned sharply toward her, his voice rough. What weapon? Her silver eyes gleamed. The secret, she whispered. The one between my legs. The one I carry in my blood. It is not temptation, human. It is code. It is the key. My body holds the last piece of your people's weapon, and only together can we bring it to life. The commander's mind raced. He had thought her words before were games, riddles, but now the truth cut deep. Her bloodline was tied to his. Her body carried what his people left behind. She was no simple queen, she was part of the lock. Why me? He asked, his voice low. Because only human hands can finish what human minds created, she said. Your people built the weapon, but they hid it from themselves, afraid of its power. Only when human fire and my blood join together will it rise again. The commander's fists tightened. His people had died fighting with ships, with guns, with blades. What kind of weapon had they feared so much that they hid it in a temple and sealed it with blood? He stepped closer to her, his eyes sharp. What happens if we awaken it? Her smirk returned, slow and dangerous. Then the galaxy will bow, she said, before he could answer. The ground trembled. A roar echoed through the chasm. The soldiers shouted as shadows moved below. From the fire-lit depths, creatures began to climb, twisted forms with claws and eyes that burned like coals. The commander drew his weapon at once. His body moved with instinct. What are they? He demanded. Guardians, she replied calmly, her silver eyes glowing. They protect the secret. They will test you. If you fail, you die here, and the weapon sleeps forever. The creatures climbed higher, their roars shaking the air. The soldiers prepared to fight, but their fear was clear. Even with fleets above, even with armies ready, this battle felt different. This was not a war of armies. It was a trial. The commander raised his weapon, his voice steady. Then we fight, The woman smirked again, stepping beside him. Together, she whispered. The first creature lunged, claws flashing in the firelight. The commander's blade cut through its chest, sparks flying as it fell. Another came, then another. The air filled with roars and the clash of steel. He fought with fire in his heart. Every strike a reminder of his people, every breath a vow that humanity was not finished. Beside him she moved like silver lightning, her strikes precise, her power undeniable. The battle raged. The guardians kept coming, but together they held. Each fallen beast brought them closer. To the temple doors, at last the final creature fell, its body crashing into the dust. The chasm grew silent, the air heavy with smoke and blood. The woman's silver eyes locked on the temple. Her smirk widened. The way is open, she said. Now, human, the truth waits for us. The commander's chest burned. His mind raced with fear and fire. A hidden weapon, a temple built by his people, a secret locked in her blood. He stepped toward the doors, his voice low and certain. Then let us see what they died to protect. And the doors of the temple began to open. The temple doors opened. With a deep groan, ancient stone shifted. Dust fell like rain, and the glow of hidden light spilled into the valley. The commander stepped forward with the woman beside him. His heart was heavy with fire. His people had built this place, and now, after centuries, it opened for him. The armies waited outside, silent, their eyes fixed on the glowing doors, fear mixed with awe. They had seen her power before. But this was different. This was something older, something greater. Inside, the air was thick and heavy. The walls were covered with human carvings. Their lines glowed faintly as if alive. The commander reached out and touched them. They pulsed under. His hand warm like blood. These walls know you, the woman whispered. They remember your kind. His throat tightened. Every step deeper into the temple felt like walking into the heartbeat of his ancestors. His people had built this place not as a throne, but as a cage for something. Too dangerous to leave free. At the center of the temple stood a chamber. A great stone device lay dormant. Its shape was like a throne, but taller, sharper, alive with veins of dark metal. The commander felt its pull in his bones. This is it, she said softly. The weapon, the throne of fire. He stared at it, his voice low. This is no throne. This is a monster, she smirked. Sometimes monsters are what the galaxy needs. Before he could reply, the sound of boots echoed behind them. The commander turned sharply, his weapon ready. From the shadows stepped her general, the tall alien. In dark armor, his soldiers followed, weapons raised, their eyes burned not with loyalty but hunger. My queen, the general said, bowing slightly. His voice dripped with false respect. We have protected you, served you, fought for you. But now the time has come. The throne will not be yours. It will be mine. The woman's silver eyes narrowed, her smirk faded into cold steel. You dare, she whispered. The general raised his hand. His soldiers moved quickly, surrounding the chamber. Their weapons glowed with blue fire. The commander and the woman were trapped. You call yourself cursed, the general said loudly, his voice echoing through the chamber. And cursed you are. You carry human blood in your veins. Mixed and tainted, you are no true queen. You are nothing but a lock, and locks are made to be broken. The commander's chest burned with rage. His weapon hummed in his hand. Traitor, he spat. The general laughed. Traitor, he mocked. No, I am the savior. With the throne, I will rise. With its fire, I will burn every race that stands against me, including the last human. He turned his gaze to the commander, his smile sharp. Do you not see? She only uses you, human. She ties you to her blood. She promises secrets, but she will keep them for herself. You are a tool, a key, nothing more. The commander's grip tightened. His mind raced. He knew the general twisted the truth, but he also knew the woman was dangerous. Her games, her riddles, her secrets, all wrapped around him like chains. The woman stepped forward, her silver eyes glowing bright. You will not take what is mine, she said. Her voice cut like a blade. The general smirked. "Then die with your pet human," he shouted. His soldiers raised their weapons. The chamber exploded into chaos. Bolts of blue fire filled the air. The commander moved like lightning, his weapon flashing, cutting through the first soldier. The woman unleashed her own power, silver light bursting from her hands, burning enemies to ash, but the general was strong. His blade clashed with the commander's. Sparks flew as metal met metal. Their strikes shook the chamber. The commander fought with the fire of his people, but the general fought with greed and fury. "You cannot win," the general growled, pressing hard against him. "The throne will answer to me." "No," the commander spat, his blade locking against the general's. "The throne was built by humans, and it will never bow to you." The woman struck at the general, her silver energy slicing across his armor. He staggered but did not fall. His roar shook the walls. "Then I will take it with blood." The fight raged. Soldiers fell around them. The chamber glowed brighter as if the throne itself was waking. It pulsed with every strike. It drank the chaos, the betrayal, the fire. At last, the general drove his blade deep into the ground. His voice thundered, "If I cannot take the throne, then no one will. We will all burn together." The throne pulsed violently. Light burst from its veins. The ground shook. The walls cracked. Dust and fire rained down. The commander's heart raced. He looked at the woman. Her silver eyes glowed with fury, yet also with something deeper. "Together," she whispered. "Only together can we stop him." He nodded once, his weapon ready. Their pact pulsed like fire in his veins. The general roared again, raising his blade for the final strike, and the throne of fire came alive. The throne roared to life. Light burst from its veins, flooding the chamber with blinding fire. The ground shook, the walls cracked, dust rained down from the ceiling. The soldiers stumbled back in fear, their weapons trembling in their hands. The general stood tall in the storm. His blade raised, his eyes wild with hunger. He shouted above the chaos, "The throne is mine, its power is mine." But the throne rejected him. A blast of red light struck his chest, throwing him across the chamber. His scream echoed as his armor cracked and smoke rose from his flesh. He fell to his knees, his eyes wide with shock. The commander and the woman stood before the throne. The air burned around them. The pact in their blood pulsed harder, pulling them closer to the heart of the storm. The woman's silver eyes glowed brighter than ever. "This is the moment," she whispered. "The throne will only answer to us together, human. Together we claim what was denied." The commander's chest tightened. His mind raced with fire and fear. This was it, the secret, the legacy, the truth of his people. But it was also a trap. If he joined her, he could awaken something that might save or destroy them all. If he refused, the pact would burn him alive. The general staggered to his feet, his face twisted with rage. He raised his blade again, roaring like a beast. "No, I will not be denied." The commander met his charge. Their blades clashed in a storm of sparks. The woman struck with silver light, forcing the general back, but he fought like a man possessed, driven not by loyalty but by greed. "You are fools," he spat, his blade swinging with fury. "This throne belongs to no one but me." The commander pressed forward, his strikes fast and sharp, his voice steady. "No, this throne belongs to humanity, and you are nothing but a thief." The general roared and swung hard, but the commander caught his strike and drove his blade deep into the traitor's chest. The general gasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. Blood spilled as he collapsed to the floor, his last breath stolen by the throne's fire. The chamber fell silent for a moment. Only the hum of the throne filled the air. The woman stepped closer to the commander, her voice low and sharp. "Now it is ours." She raised her hand toward the throne. The commander hesitated. His heart pounded. He knew there was no turning back. If he touched it with her, the weapon of his people would awaken. If he refused, he would die and humanity's secret would die with him. The faces of the fallen flashed before his eyes. The screams of his people, the betrayal, the fire. The empire was gone, but its memory burned in him still. He placed his hand on the throne beside hers. The pact surged like lightning. Their blood, human and alien, merged in the glow. The throne roared as if alive. Fire shot into the ceiling, shaking the ground. The armies outside fell to their knees, their voices trembling in fear and awe. The commander felt the truth flood into him. Memories not his own, visions of the empire, of its rise and fall. He saw the weapon his people had hidden, a power so vast it could burn stars, a force that could shape worlds. "This is it," the woman whispered, her voice trembling with triumph. "The secret, the weapon, the fire of your people and mine, together unstoppable." The commander's breath came heavy. He saw the path before him. With this power he could restore humanity. He could rebuild the empire. He could make the galaxy bow once more, but he also saw the danger. With this power, they could become monsters. Worse than the betrayers. Worse than the traitors who had destroyed his people. Her silver eyes locked on his. Her smirk returned, sharp and knowing. "Now, human, will you rise with me, or will you fall with the ashes of your kind?" The commander's heart pounded. He knew there was no easy choice. He could claim vengeance or he could claim justice. The throne offered both. The galaxy trembled in silence, waiting. At last he spoke, his voice steady. "We rise." The throne blazed with fire, the chamber shook. The armies outside cried out, ships above roared into light. The galaxy itself seemed to bend under the weight of new power. The woman smirked, her silver eyes glowing like twin stars. "Then the galaxy is ours," she whispered. The commander stood tall beside her, the fire of his people alive in his veins, the throne of humanity reborn. And with it, a new reign began. Whether it would save the galaxy or burn it was yet to be seen.